Hello everyone, this is Tanish Srivastava, and I'm here to speak a couple of words about the basic of MySQL, basics of PHP, and the integration of PHP with MySQL. So let's start. So, what is MySQL? MySQL is a popular open source relational database management system, which means you can use it to manage and work with databases, which are basically collection of tables. MySQL also consists of a language called SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language, through with the help of which you can organize data into tables, or you can manipulate the data in the tables. You can display the data from the tables, and so on and so forth. Here are some basic queries of SQL. So I have PHP my admin setup right here. I'll show you all how to download and how to set it up in just a bit. But for now, I already have a database right here. It's called test. Let me just delete this table right here. One second. Yeah. So in PHP My Admin, you can basically it's a kind of a panel to work with SQL and to create databases which you can use in your projects. So here's an example. Now to create table, a query we use is create table, and goes our table name. So I'll just call it student. And then we have the name of the column and the data type. So I'll just put it like registration number, which is in name, which is worker 225. I click on go, and there you go. If you go to structure, yep, as you can see, we have a table called student. If I click on it, I can perform operations within the table. And as you can see, we have both the columns as we intended. So how do we add on to this? How do we display from this? Let's start with displaying. So if you want to display everything, never mind. Let's insert something first. In PHP you have these buttons that will automatically write some queries for you. So if you press insert, it will give the query for you, and you can just change the command here and write your own thing. So I'll just add some random numbers. One second. Yep, there you go. You have one new field, 2915 and ABC. I'll just add one more field. Student. Uh, So now we have a table with two rows. One has name ABC and one has name XYZ. So how do let's say I want to display only the people who have the name ABC. So how do I do that? So for displaying things from the table, we have select queries. I can just do select star from, again, you can click on this button, it will autofill for you. Select star means all, like everything from the table from student, and where one means everything. So here I can add a condition. The where clause is here for giving an additional condition. So let's say I want to only print ABC. So I can just write name is equal to ABC, and there you go. That's a intended output. Now uh, another thing which we won't exactly use in this session but still useful, it's date. You can change the uh, fields or in a row in a table if you like. So if I once again. if I want to change the registration number of, yeah, as you can see, the registration number got changed of ABC. So that's it when it comes to the basic queries of SQL. Now let's move on to PHP. So PHP is a server-side scripting language which is widely used for web development. It's a backend language, and it's designed for creating dynamic and interactive web pages. So like if you create a form, let's say, and you click on the submit button in the form, so everything that goes on behind the scenes, PHP and some other languages too, which are responsible for that. In this case, we're only talking about a PHP. So we need two things to set all this up. One is XAMPP, which we use to install PHP and one is PHP itself. So here's how you set it up. Just click on the top link and download the latest version here. One second. Yeah, I already have XAMPP downloaded in my case. When you finally install it, it'll look like it'll look something like this. FileZilla, Mercury, and Tomcat we don't need at all for this specific session. What we do need is Apache and MySQL. And this will be like initially this will be in stop state in your program. So just start it. And after this, you can like type localhost slash phpMyAdmin in your in any browser, and phpMyAdmin will open up. Now, to set up PHP, once again, just go to the top link, go to downloads. We have downloads. Oh, sorry, Windows downloads, and download the thread safe zip like from here. The version might be different, like the version, everything else might be different, but make sure you're downloading the thread safe file. So if you download the zip file, I already have it downloaded again. Let me just get out once again. Uh, yeah. So you'll get a zip file like this. What you have to do is extract it into any folder of your liking. I extracted it into right here. One, can't open it. Yeah, here we go. So after this, we need to add it to the environment variables of the system, so it recognizes PHP as a actual file, as an actual like uh, a program from CMD. So if we copy the directory from here, go to CMD, sorry, environment variables, go right here. In the top area, you'll see path. So click here, click on edit, click on new, and then add whatever the path is of the PHP folder there. As you can see, I already added it in my case. I'll go ahead and add it. And to make sure it works, you can just go into CMD, PHP version. Yep. So you see, if it says something like PHP not recognized or anything like that, you did something wrong. So go back and recheck whatever you did. After this, let's start with the actual code. Oh, one more thing. In your wherever you install XAMPP, you need to go to the XAMPP folder, htdocs, and here you'll actually create the actual HTML or PHP file that you'll work with. So in my case, let me just create the folder. One second. Niche Visual Studio. make sure you're creating a PHP file. There you go. Save it, and now we can start coding. So many of you are probably familiar with basic HTML. We don't exactly need a lot of HTML for this specific session. I'll just create a basic form. Again, form. Uh, yeah. So there are two types of methods when you submit a form in HTML. There is post methods and there are get methods. Both have basically the same function, but post methods are more secure. These are used for sending data to the server when you submit, when you click on the submit button in the form. So right now we'll use post. When I go to the PHP code, you'll understand better what I mean. So form method is equals to post, and I'll just create a virtual book. Right. Post name input type equals to submit. I forgot to add one more thing. We're going to write our code in. It's up to you actually. You can write your PHP code in the same file, but I'm gonna write it in another one. So I'll just write test2.php right here. There you go. I'll create the PHP, the test2.php file where we'll continue the rest of the coding. Oh, and if I want to see the this website I just created, I can just go to localhost slash tech niche slash test.php. There you go. We have a reg, we have a name, and we have a song. So, once again, yeah, let's create a new file. Let's do second line. Let's something up. Okay. So, what we use to start the PHP code is this specific tag right here. And variables in PHP are represented in this space. So like a is equal to 1 or a is equal to whatever string you want, like this. So what we do need to do, we have two fields right here in the website. Let me just open the website. We have two fields right here, one for registration number and one for the name. So what we want to do is we want to fetch that data from the HTML page. So what we can do for that is create a reg variable. And remember the post method I told you about. Basically, when we click on the submit button, it sends the data to the PHP file, and the PHP file grabs it uh, with the help of the name that we gave each test field, each text field right here. So in this case, we gave it reg, call it reg. Then we have name, let name. Once again, my bad. I can also establish the connection with the actual database with the help of the new MySQLi command. It basically creates an object of MySQLi, and we need to give four parameters right here inside this. One is the server IP, which in our case will just be localhost. One is the username, which PHPMyAdmin's default username is root, and the password is null. Like when you open up PHP admin, it doesn't ask you for a password. So just don't write anything in the password field. And the final parameter is the database that you want to access. So in our case, if you remember, it's test. So I can go ahead and add it. Now, what if it doesn't connect? If it doesn't connect, it will basically just print out this specific error, connection failed, and the will exit. What if it doesn't give an error? We can write the actual code of what we want to do here. First, let's create a query. Inside this pair function, we can write the query we want. So what we want to do is we want to add whatever we write in these fields to the actual table. Let's go ahead and write it. We have uh, the name of the table was, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the table. The name of the table was student. What is it? Student. Um, distribution values. And for these question marks that we wrote, just write, we can use the bind parameter function, which is this. Now, inside the bind parameter function, the first argument you give is the data type of the each question mark. So in our case, the registration number is integer and the name is a string. So what we'll write is is. Oh, sorry, not here. Is, which basically means the I here means integer and S here stands for string. And there's also D for double and B for boolean, but we don't need that right now. And then we will write the actual variable itself, which we got in the second and third line, right? And name. And finally, we can execute this query and roll it. Let me just once again, just go ahead and run it and make sure there's no problem. Okay, so we have our table right here. One second. I'm sorry, you're facing some problem right now. Okay, yeah. So we have a table right here. I'll just write a random registration number. I'll write my own name. So, and this is not, I wanted on, yeah, my bad. Over here, you just need to write, instead of connection aborted, you need to write connect error. That should fix it. Think. Yeah, let's go back and give another field. We'll write random letters. And if I go right here, I'll reload it. Yep, as you can see, even the previous field that we just gave came along, and the field we gave just now also got added to the table. So this is the basics of the integration you can do with MySQL with PHP. Of course, you can like experiment and experiment with more queries and do what you want to do. I'm going to be ending my session right here. Thank you all for watching.